Have you ever stopped to consider why some individuals inhabit worlds that are completely different from yours? This isn't about luck or inheritance. It's about a choice that these individuals made, often without realizing the magnitude of what they were deciding. A career choice, a professional decision, one that forever altered the places they call home, the restaurants they frequent, and the countries they visit annually as if they were just weekend getaways. Think for a moment. Have you ever looked at someone and wondered how they got to where they are? What was their journey? What did they do differently? Because there's a truth that very few are willing to acknowledge. The divide between a financially average life and an extraordinary one often doesn't hinge on effort. It lies in the direction of that effort. It's about the kind of work you choose to pursue. It's about the information you possess, or the information you never had access to. What I'm about to share with you today revolves around this very theme, about information, about what no one ever told you, about what the educational system never placed in front of you, about careers that exist, that are real, and that are available, but that the vast majority have simply never encountered because they never reached this point. Today, you'll uncover 8 careers that pay more than anything you've ever seen. And beyond the numbers, you'll grasp the reasons behind them. Why do they offer such high salaries? Why are so few aware of them? And what it would take to follow one of these paths. Stay with me until the end. Because what's coming could fundamentally alter your perception of the job market, your possibilities, and your own life. Before diving into the careers themselves, I want you to grasp the context. The income concentration occurring in the United States job market is unparalleled anywhere else in the world. There exists a very select group of professionals. We're talking about a tiny fraction of the American workforce who earn amounts that most people can't even fathom. I'm not referring to $100,000 a year, which would already be above the American average. I'm not talking about 200 or 300,000. I'm speaking of careers where experienced professionals can earn 500,000, 800,000, a million, 2 million, 5 million, and in some instances, tens of millions of dollars annually. Now, I'm going to share something that will change how you perceive the American job market once and for all. The United States boasts the largest GDP in the world. It harbors the biggest corporations on the planet. It has the largest investment funds ever created by humanity. And all this immense wealth needs to be managed, operated, built, protected, and expanded by people. Specific professionals equipped with specialized skills, trained to handle complexities and responsibilities on a scale that most can hardly imagine. What's more fascinating? Most of these individuals are not famous. They don't appear in celebrity magazines. They don't have millions of followers on social media. They simply work quietly in closed offices, in discreet settings, and they amass wealth at a pace that defies any ordinary calculation. There's a very specific reason why you never learned about these careers in school. Conventional education was designed to prepare you for one specific type of job market, the conventional market: median salaries, slow progression, security in exchange for limitation. And within this system, you learn about the professions that the system requires you to know, not the ones that could lead you to extraordinary financial success. But there are gaps. There are paths that lie outside this conventional map. Today, I will reveal 8 of them to you. Now picture someone showing you exactly what these careers are. Imagine that, at this very moment, you had access to a map that most people will never see. That's precisely what's happening here, right now, in this video. Let's begin with the first career, which for decades has been known as one of the highest paying in the United States. Yet the real numbers still shock when you see them for the first time. A cardiothoracic surgeon is the professional who operates on the heart and lungs. This is the doctor who literally holds someone's life in their hands. When you're on the operating table with your chest open, your heart kept beating by a machine, while the surgeon reconnects blood vessels, fixes faulty valves, or performs a full transplant. You don't want this professional to be just good. You want them to be exceptional. You want them to be the best there is. And the American market pays for this in a way that few other professions in the world can match. A cardiothoracic surgeon in the United States begins their career after years and years of intense training and extreme dedication, with salaries ranging from $400,000 to $500,000 a year, and that's just the start. With accumulated experience, specialization in more complex surgical procedures, and a well-established reputation in the medical field, these professionals can earn between $700,000 and $1,200,000 annually. The most renowned, those who perform surgeries that others cannot or dare not attempt, easily surpass $2 million a year. The path to get there isn't short, and I need to be honest with you about this. It involves 4 years of undergraduate studies, 4 years of medical school, 5 to 7 years of residency, and an additional 1 to 2 years of specialized fellowship. That's over 15 years of preparation after high school. More than 15 years of dedication, sleepless nights, extreme pressure, and continuous learning. But when you reach the other side, the financial reward is unmatched, and more than that, you possess something that no amount of money can buy. The unshakable certainty that your work saves lives every single day. The second career on this list places you in front of something even more delicate. If the cardiothoracic surgeon holds the heart in their hands, the neurosurgeon holds something even more precious: the brain, the mind, the essence of who a person is, the thoughts, the memories, the personality, the ability to love and communicate. All of this flows through the organ that the neurosurgeon has the power to heal or compromise with a single wrong move. Think about what's truly at stake. Every decision a neurosurgeon makes in the operating room can determine whether the patient will wake up with the same personality they had before surgery, whether they will recognize their children's faces, whether they will be able to speak, walk, think clearly. The level of responsibility carried by this professional is simply immeasurable, and the American market recognizes this in a way that leaves absolutely no doubt. A beginner neurosurgeon in the United States earns between $500,000 and $600,000 annually right at the start of their career. As their expertise expands and they master increasingly complex surgical procedures like intricate spine surgeries, removal of brain tumors in hard-to-reach areas, or groundbreaking aneurysm treatments, their earnings steadily rise to a range of $800,000 to $1.5 million per year. The top American neurosurgeons, those who have become national and international authorities, who receive patients referred from across the country and perform procedures that others simply refuse to attempt, can earn between $2 million and $3 million annually. It's also worth noting that the field of neurosurgery is experiencing significant technological evolution in the United States. State-of-the-art robotic-assisted surgeries, minimally invasive procedures guided by real-time imaging with millimeter precision, and pioneering treatments combining surgery with neuromodulation are pushing boundaries that seemed unattainable 2 decades ago. Professionals at the forefront of these innovations are compensated even more generously than the figures I've just mentioned. This is one of the most demanding professions in the world. The margin for error is non-existent. The pressure is relentless, and it's precisely because of all this that the rewards are what they are. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the third career on this list, because here the figures come from a completely different scale. The Chief Executive Officer, CEO, of a large American corporation is not just well compensated. They are paid at a level that defies comparison with any other career in the conventional corporate world you might have heard of. A CEO of a medium-sized company in the United States earns between $1 million and $5 million annually when you add base salary, annual bonuses, and executive benefits. However, when we talk about CEOs of major American corporations, the companies listed in the S&P 500, those that drive the country's economy and have global impact, the numbers shift dramatically. CEOs of the largest American companies receive compensation packages that include base salary, performance-based annual bonuses, company shares granted over time, stock options at favorable prices, and a variety of other long-term benefits and incentives. When everything is totaled and calculated correctly, we are discussing amounts starting at $10 million per year and reaching up to $50 million, $100 million, and in extraordinary cases of companies with exceptional performance, $300 million or more in a single calendar year. These are real figures. They are documented values, publicly reported, verifiable by anyone who wants to research. And they exist every year, in real companies, with CEOs who are flesh and blood individuals that went to school, studied hard, worked diligently, and made it to the top. Here, if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button now and join the Salary Uncovered channel. And if you have someone in your life, a friend, a family member, someone contemplating their career and future, share this video with them right now. Because what we are witnessing here is the kind of information that changes perspectives, and everyone deserves access to it. The fourth career on this list is the one that separates the wealthy from the extremely rich within the American financial market. And perhaps it's the career about which ordinary people know the least, hear the least about, and understand the least how it operates. A hedge fund manager is the professional tasked with overseeing high-risk investments in pursuit of extraordinary returns that consistently outpace the market. They operate with billions of dollars at stake. Their decisions can influence entire markets. They analyze intricate global scenarios, spot opportunities unnoticed by other investors, and implement investment strategies with a speed and precision that demand decades of experience and an exceptional level of analytical intelligence. And they are compensated in a manner that reflects the magnitude of the responsibility they bear. The compensation structure for American hedge fund managers revolves around two main components. The first is the annual management fee, which is a percentage of the total assets under management charged each year, regardless of performance. The second, and more influential, is the performance fee, a percentage of the profits generated for investors. When results are strong, this performance fee turns already substantial numbers into astronomical figures. An entry-level manager at a smaller fund can expect compensation ranging from $500,000 to $1 million per year just to get started. As the fund expands, reputation solidifies, and consistent positive results emerge, these figures can climb to a range of $5 million to $20 million annually. The top hedge fund managers in America, the names that appear in the rankings of the wealthiest individuals in the United States year after year, earn between $100 million and $4 billion in a single year. You read that correctly. Billions. In just 1 year. There are hedge fund managers who, in a single year, have amassed a fortune that most people won't accumulate over several combined generations. And they do this repeatedly, year after year, while their funds continue to grow and their results keep coming in. Now tell me, which of these careers has surprised you the most so far? Leave it in the comments below. Did you know any of them before? What did you think about what one can earn in a career before this video? Write to me. I read all the comments, and they help me create increasingly relevant content for you. The fifth career on this list is one that most people associate with reasonably good salaries, but in its elite version within the most powerful law firms in the United States, it reaches figures that few can imagine. The world of big business requires someone to structure the most complex and billion-dollar transactions that occur between the largest companies on the planet. That person is the mergers and acquisitions attorney, known in the American market as the M&A lawyer. When a company acquires another for $10 billion, it requires an entire team of elite lawyers to design the entire operation from the ground up, ensure every detail is legally sound and protected, negotiate clauses that could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars each, and safeguard the client's interests at every stage of a transaction that can last for months. And this service comes at a cost. A very, very high cost. A senior mergers and acquisitions attorney in the United States working at one of the prestigious elite law firms, known as big law firms, which are the largest and most respected in the country, earns between $500,000 and $1,500,000 annually. The partners of these firms, those who lead major corporate transactions and possess decades of accumulated experience and a network of relationships built over an entire career, can earn between $2 million and $10 million a year. The values reflect the immense transactions, often reaching tens and hundreds of billions of dollars, conducted by the companies they represent. The cost of legal counsel, while considerable by ordinary standards, becomes utterly insignificant when compared to the scale and intricacy of the deals being arranged. The sixth career on this list stands as perhaps the most iconic within American finance. While the mergers and acquisitions lawyer crafts the legal framework for major transactions, the investment banker is the one who makes them financially feasible. This individual serves as the architect behind significant capital movements that shape not only the American economy but also the global landscape. Investment bankers operate within the most powerful financial institutions worldwide: Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup. They provide guidance to companies during IPO processes, which is when a business goes public by offering its shares on the stock market. They assist in issuing corporate debts totaling hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. They orchestrate mergers between giant firms and structure acquisitions that transform entire sectors of the economy. In each of these endeavors, banks charge fees that can range from tens to hundreds of millions of dollars per transaction. A career at an American investment bank typically starts with an analyst position. Even this entry-level role, a young professional fresh from a reputable university, commands an initial salary that astonishes when compared to other professions at a similar level. We are talking about annual earnings between $150,000 and $250,000 right from the start. The analyst moves on to become an associate, then a vice president, followed by a director, and ultimately a managing director. A managing director in an American investment bank, combining base salary and annual bonuses, can earn between $2 million and $10 million per year. Partners and leaders in the most lucrative divisions of the largest investment banks can exceed annual earnings of $20 million, $30 million, or even $50 million, or remarkably, even young graduates in their first 2 to 3 years of their careers enter this realm with compensation that many professionals in other fields, with decades of experience, will never achieve throughout their lifetimes. You've reached the halfway point of this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Hit the red button and subscribe to Salary Uncovered right now. This channel aims to reveal what the system never told you about money, careers, and the American job market. Also, activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos. Do this now while you're still here. The seventh career on this list is unlike any of the previous ones. It stands apart because, unlike the others, it does not necessarily require 15 or 20 years of formal academic training. However, it demands something perhaps even rarer and harder to find: a deep and genuine mastery of one of the most transformative technologies humanity has ever created throughout its history. The United States is at the forefront of the artificial intelligence revolution. American tech companies are engaged in a talent war that is truly unprecedented in the history of the job market. Never before, in any sector or era, has there been such an intense, aggressive, and generous competition for professionals possessing a specific set of technical skills. A senior software developer specializing in machine learning, deep learning, natural language models, and neural network architectures, the technologies that drive the world's most advanced artificial intelligences, is being recruited with salaries that shatter all previous benchmarks in the tech industry. Benchmarks that were already high by any conventional standard. We are discussing professionals who receive total compensation packages starting at $300,000 per year and easily reaching $500,000, $700,000, or even $1 million annually when you account for base salary, performance bonuses, stock options, and other benefits. At companies like Google, OpenAI, Meta, Amazon, and other American giants in the field, elite AI researchers and engineers can earn between $1 million and $10 million per year in total compensation. This is not speculation. It is documented. This is happening right now in the American job market. What's most remarkable is the genuine and profound shortage of these professionals. Companies have more open positions than they can fill. The demand for this talent far exceeds the supply in such a significant way that it continues to drive salaries upward year after year without pause, showing no signs of slowing down. However, there is another angle to this career that very few people consider when analyzing it. The top artificial intelligence engineers not only earn astronomical salaries as employees of major firms, many of them leverage the capital they've accumulated, the connections they've built, and the technical knowledge they've developed to create their own companies, develop their own tools, and within a few years turn their skills into wealth that reaches hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. The American venture capital market is flooding the artificial intelligence sector with resources in an unprecedented manner. Every new relevant product, every new technology that emerges has the real potential to attract massive investments early on. This is one of the few careers on this list where the entry point does not require a specific 15-year education. It demands genuine talent, unwavering dedication, and a deep mastery of a field that is transforming the world at a speed we have never seen before. Yet the barriers, compared to medicine or law, are different. The outcomes for the best are equally extraordinary. I want to hear your thoughts now. Are you working or studying in a tech or artificial intelligence-related field? Do you feel the market is recognizing the value of these professionals? Leave a comment below. Every message you write helps me better understand the profile of those watching this video and allows me to create increasingly relevant and useful content for you. We have reached the final career on this list. I saved it for last not because it is the least important, but because, in terms of wealth generation potential, it may be the most impactful of all that we have seen so far. Private equity involves investing in companies that are not publicly traded. Private equity professionals raise money from large institutional investors, pension funds managing the retirements of millions of workers, ultra-wealthy families, universities with billions in their endowments, and use this enormous capital to buy private companies, transform them from the inside out, and then sell them at a substantial profit. Consider the business model for a moment, as it is truly captivating. You pinpoint a company that is not reaching its full potential. You acquire it, often employing a clever mix of equity and strategically arranged debt. You recruit the finest managers available, completely overhaul the company's operations, venture into new markets, improve operational margins, eliminate inefficiencies, and after a span of 4 to 7 years, you sell this fully transformed company for a multiple of what you initially paid. The gap between the purchase and selling price, the total profit generated by the operation, is distributed among the investors and the professionals who guided the entire process. The compensation structure in private equity is among the most generous and well-designed in the financial world. There's a base salary that is already considerable by any conventional standard. Then comes the annual bonus, which can double or even triple the base salary depending on performance. And there's the most powerful transformative component of all, the carried interest, which is a direct share in the profits from the transactions executed by the fund. When a private equity fund acquires a company for $500 million, dedicates 5 years to transforming it, and then sells it for $2 billion, the profit of $1.5 billion is shared among all parties involved. The professionals who manage this transaction from start to finish receive a significant portion of that profit. In the United States, a private equity analyst starts with compensation ranging from $200,000 to $400,000 per year right at the beginning of their career. A senior associate typically earns between $500,000 and $1 million annually. A vice president falls within the $1 million to $3 million range. Directors make between $2 million and $7 million, and partners at the largest American private equity firms, names like Blackstone, Apollo, KKR, and Carlyle, can earn anywhere from $10 million to hundreds of millions of dollars in a single year, directly tied to the performance of their investments. What distinguishes private equity from nearly all other careers on this list is the absence of a clear and defined ceiling. Earning potential increases in proportion to the size of the managed funds and the success of the executed operations. In the United States, which boasts the largest and most sophisticated private equity market in the world, this creates wealth accumulation opportunities that are genuinely unmatched by any other available alternative. The most successful professionals in this field build fortunes that transcend any conventional notion of wealth. They don't just earn high salaries, they accumulate stakes in companies, funds, and projects that continue to generate substantial financial returns for decades. It's a model where the more you possess and the better you perform, the more you are able to generate. A continuously self-reinforcing cycle of growth. Now you possess a perspective that very few people have. 8 careers, 8 completely different worlds, 8 distinct ways to achieve a financial level that the vast majority of people will never experience up close. Not because it's impossible, but simply because they never knew it existed. Because they never had access to this information. Because no one reached out to them and showed them the map. And I want you to do something important now. Think about yourself. Reflect on your genuine interests, your natural abilities, and what drives you from within. None of these careers are suitable for everyone. They demand very specific sacrifices, unique talents, and individual journeys. Some require decades of intense academic training. Others call for extraordinary analytical skills. Some involve risks and pressures that most people simply wouldn't be willing to endure in their daily lives. However, just knowing that these options exist, understanding what is truly possible within the American job market, fundamentally changes the game, because information is always the first step. It always has been, without exception. Before today, you might not have seriously considered some of these paths. Perhaps you never connected your own talents and traits to any of those possibilities. But now you have the map. Now you know where to look. Now you have a reference for what is achievable that most people around you may never possess. And what will you do with this map? That is the question that will define everything going forward. There are those who watch videos like this, feel a spark of interest and curiosity, and then continue exactly as they were before hitting play. And there are those who watch videos like this and start to ask different questions. They begin to research more. They start to carve out a new path. They begin to see possibilities that were previously invisible. Which of these people do you want to be? The difference between the two groups lies not in talent. It's not about luck. It's not about where they started. It's about the willingness to act based on the information you receive. It's about the courage to question the path laid out for you even before you chose anything. The American job market is the largest, most competitive, and most lucrative in the world. And within it, there are niches, just like the ones we explored today, where financial potential has no parallel anywhere else on the planet. Surgeons saving lives and earning over $1 million a year. Managers handling billions and walking away with hundreds of millions. Developers whose code is shaping the future and being rewarded in ways that most professions will never match. Investors transforming companies and amassing fortunes in the process. These careers are not myths. They are not impossible exceptions reserved for geniuses or those born into privileged families. They are documented realities with clear trajectories, active markets, open positions, and companies aggressively seeking qualified professionals to fill these roles. The question has never been whether these careers exist. The question has always been, did you know they existed? Did you have that information? Did you understand what was truly possible within a lifetime? Now you do. Now you know. And that's something that cannot be undone. This video was created exactly for that purpose. To open a window. To show a horizon that most people never see. To permanently transform how you think about work, money, career, and what is possible within a single human life. Because in the end, the career you choose is not just a source of income. It is a central and profoundly significant part of who you become over time, of the experiences you accumulate, of the people you meet, of the impact you leave on the world, And when you have access to the best available information, you are in a much better position to make the best possible decisions about your own life. Now, before you close this video, I need a quick favor from you. I promise it won't take long. First, please leave a comment below right now. Tell me which of these 8 careers impressed you the most. Share if you're considering a career change or if this video opened up new possibilities for you. Let me know how this content changed your perspective on the job market. I read every comment without exception, and often the next topic for the channel is inspired by what you write down here. Second, if you haven't subscribed yet, click the button now and join the Salary Uncovered channel. This channel exists to unveil what the world has never told you about salaries, careers, and money. Every week, new content is released that you won't want to miss. Also, hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as the next video goes live. Third, give this video a thumbs up right now. It may seem simple, but it makes a huge difference in helping more people discover this content organically. Just one click from you can open the same door this video opened for you, for someone who really needs this information at this moment in their life. And finally, share this video. Send it to that friend who's deciding what to study in college. Share it with a family member who's thinking about changing their career path. Pass it on to anyone you believe deserves access to this kind of information that the system has never offered for free. Because knowledge that isn't shared changes absolutely nothing. But when it reaches the right person at the right time, with the right mindset, it can change everything. Thank you for sticking around until the end. This says a lot about you, about your curiosity, your ambition, and your willingness to question what you thought you knew about what's possible. Keep it up, keep searching, keep questioning. And I'll see you in the next video from Salary Uncovered.